Hi guys, I hope you are doing very well. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm shooting this video right inside this vehicle. This is a Nissan March, a model of 2012, and I already mentioned some time before I bought this vehicle 3 months ago, and I bought it from the second-hand market at a very good price. Actually, I already revealed the price. I bought it at 360,000 Kenya shillings. And I did this one as a challenge because for quite some times I have always been saying that the price of new or ex-Japan small vehicles is highly exaggerated, and I have never had intention to buy a small vehicle like this one at a price of 1 million. For me, it doesn't matter the condition of the ex-Japan vehicle, but I strongly believe that the issues that these small vehicles come with, the type of business they come to do here in Kenya, I feel like 1 million is an exaggeration. So for me, I wanted to make sure that I buy a small vehicle that can do taxi business in Nairobi, that is in good condition, and that I get at a fair price. So I got exactly that. I have been using it for 3 months now. No issue at all, no mechanical problem, no damages. Thank God we have not had any accidents so far. And it's a challenge that I would also like some of you guys to take out there. But you can tell yourself you want to buy a small vehicle like this one for business. But again, you need to make sure that you save all the money that you need to buy that business. You need to have it cash so that when you negotiate with me or someone else and we come to an agreement, we transact immediately and everyone goes with their share. So that is always the disadvantage of buying things from the second-hand market, because you have to transact with cash and immediate payment. So there is nothing like borrowing or going to the bank or to the SACCO. But that was not the topic for today, but I wanted to just mention it to you because the video for today is going to target the updates and the things we are expecting in the taxi industry in 2025. I know the year has already started, and I am going to remind you about two things that I already spoke about in some of my previous videos. I mentioned that Uber made a big announcement that in 2025 rather, they have given us until December, and vehicles like this one I'm showing you my vehicle, that's why I spoke about it, is not going to be eligible anymore to work with Uber, because Uber, they said that they want vehicles that are only 12 years old or less. So any vehicle that will be 12 years old or more by December 2025, it will not be in partnership with Uber anymore. You can use it for any other purpose that you want. You can use it with all the other applications that exist, that is Bolt, Little Cab, Faras, but not with Uber. So that is a very big change that is going to happen this year. I am expecting that people who own these vehicles like myself and so many others, actually every vehicle that you will see out there with a KDA or earlier number plate is actually a 2013 vehicle, all older, because Uber said that they will remove actually 2013 vehicles and earlier. So mine is 2012, so this, without discussion, it will be out. 2013 vehicles will be out as well. So what I'm trying to say here is that I am expecting that owners of these older vehicles, like myself and many others who have KDA and older number plates, to start selling their vehicles before that time. And if you realize right now, if you go like to Gigi, you go to Facebook Marketplace, there are so many advertisements of these vehicles now being sold. And actually, I was surprised to see that a Honda Fit and these other ones, Toyota Vitz, were being advertised at a price of 550,000. I had never seen that before. Let me tell you, owners of these older vehicles are going to be hit by some panic. If you imagine that you have like 10 vehicles like this one, because they are people who have invested, by the way. It's not like me who has only 2 cars in the Uber business. There are people who have like 10, and all those vehicles are 2013 and older. Imagine at the end of the year, Uber, they will tell them, you guys find something else to do with these cars. Where are they going to take them? And of course, some of you will say that we can ignore Uber's announcements because we have Bolt, we have Faras, and we have the rest. The issue that will come when a car that cannot operate on Uber is that drivers will, of course, complain. If you have given that car to a driver, he will not give you all the money that you need him to give you, because he will tell you that he is missing out on so many opportunities because he is not driving with Uber. If you want to optimize your income, you have to operate on all the platforms, so that if you put on Uber, you put on Bolt. When Uber is not calling, Bolt calls. When Bolt is not calling, Uber calls. So if my driver was giving me, let's say, 1,300 with this vehicle today, come 2026, I am sure I will have to deduct like 200 or 300 shillings from what he used to give me, because he will actually negotiate. And I agree with that. So to avoid all those inconveniences, some partners will say, let me just get rid of this vehicle and buy another one where we will not argue. Secondly, there are those who will say that they will settle down with Bolt if Uber does not want them. If you settle down on Bolt, you need now to understand that if you have ever talked about an overpopulated market, then that will be exactly it. Because every driver who will be dropped by Uber will seek to drive with Bolt, because Bolt is I would say the busiest application, followed by Uber. So if all the drivers are driving with Bolt, what kind of competition are we going to have? You get my point? But the only advantage or the only favor that I foresee happening to drivers who will be relegated or who will be removed by Bolt, by Uber, and they get to Bolt, is that Uber will position themselves as a premium ride-hailing company. So I expect that they will increase their prices because they are only dealing with newer vehicles. Otherwise, it will be very, very unfair to only accept newer vehicles, 2015 and above, and charge the same prices as Bolt, that is accepting very old vehicles, even 2010 cars. So if Uber is removing old vehicles from their platform, I expect their prices to go high significantly, 20% and above. And when they do that, also passengers or riders, they are going to flee. They are going to run away from Uber, so that they can only leave that option maybe to corporates and maybe people who have more disposable income. So when people run away from Uber, what will happen? We will have a lot of, affordable customers coming to Bolt. And Bolt, I also expect them to lower their prices from the current rates. Because what are they saying? They are saying that we are rescuing you drivers, we are rescuing you partners from disposing your car, from throwing it away. We are giving you an opportunity to use your very old vehicle that has been rejected elsewhere. You get my point? So Bolt, if they are charging today 200 shillings or 220 shillings for the shortest distance, probably they will keep that 220 for the shortest distance. But above 220, I think, and I look forward to them probably charging lesser compared to Uber and compared to their current price. Why? Because they will be using older vehicles. And also, they want to position themselves as the most affordable ride-hailing company. You get my point? So that will be the advantage of drivers who will not give up, or of partners who will not give up and migrate to Bolt. Because if everything becomes so affordable, if it becomes so cheap, it means that the demand will be very high, because even the common mwananchi will be able to request a trip with Bolt and they will afford it. While looking at Uber, they might not be able to afford it. So that is the biggest advantage that not selling your car will give you. But for myself, I am keeping my 2 vehicles. I am not giving up. We will drive until the last minute. My drivers will stay on the road until they are removed. And if they are removed, they will migrate to Bolt. And if things happen the way I have spoken about, then there will still be a lot of work within Bolt that people will do without finishing it. We have seen that companies like Yego, like Little Cab, that don't have a lot of requests with Uber drivers because they only operate with corporates. They have survived within their niche. So I think the market of Kenya right now is going to be segregated. There will be market segment clearly led by certain companies, as we have seen previously with Yego and Bolt, with Yego and Little Cab, because Little Cab does not make a lot of noise. But let me tell you, Little Cab is very, very strong in corporate trips. Every driver will tell you that most of the customers who are going out on behalf of their company, they are using Little Cab. But most people don't know that. So Uber is also going to be very silent there, serving customers from Kilimani, from Kalen, from, high-end areas. And Bolt, of course, will be for everyone. So Bolt will be there. You carry people from Kawangware to Githurai to all over, as well as you serve the middle income class. So it's all about market segmentation and certain companies positioning themselves to lead those segments. So those are the updates for 2025. And if you are still watching until this 11th minute, the other most critical update is the significant economic presence tax that was signed into law. This taxation will affect all foreign companies that have presence in Kenya, and their presence is deemed to be significant, like Uber and Bolt, because I don't know how they determine significance, because I think they could look at market share and income or turnover. But the reality is that Uber and Bolt are market leaders in Kenya. They are not local companies, so they will be affected by the increase in they were being charged income tax. Right now, the tax they will be charged will be significant economic presence tax. And that taxation, I think, will move from the current 3% to 6%. So there is an increase of 3% in taxation from their total collection. We are talking about turnover, not the tax they pay. You get my point? It is not tax after cost. It is every money they collect. That's the turnover. The government is taking 6%. So for that reason, I'm also thinking that the drivers could feel some hit if these companies decide to pass down that cost to drivers or decide to share it with the drivers. I am not sure how they are going to implement that, but if they decide to do it, so drivers can expect the commission to increase. So the percentage of commission they pay to Bolt and Uber could go high from the current rates, or the Uber and Bolt could decide to maybe introduce what they call service fee. So that is an amount that they say they charge directly to the client, and it is not part of the commission. It is a difficult thing to explain, but how it works is that if your trip is 250, you will see 270 from your side. The 20 shillings on top will be what they call service fee. So it's money that they will take and give to the government directly. Let's say they will call that significant economic presence tax. So the customer will pay 270, but what will be part of my transaction with Uber will just be 270 shillings. No, 250 rather, because the 20 shillings has been already taken and allocated to a different assignment. So the 250 Uber will tell me that I will pay 20% commission of that, and then I keep the 80% of the 250. So drivers actually feel like that is exploitation, because the driver collected 270. I want to make 80% of 270. You get my point? But Uber is saying The 20 shillings is not mine, it is not yours. It is not for Uber, it is not for the driver. It belongs to the government. So they take the 20 shillings the way it is, they give it to the government, and then they negotiate the remaining. So I don't know how they will implement that, but we really look forward to seeing those changes happen. For now, guys, is a goodbye and enjoy your weekend.